IWC, which has just opened a new must-visit location on the Champs-Élysées, has a surprisingly rich catalogue. However, we can identify two main pillars in this catalogue. On one side, we have IWC's pilot watches, and on the other, the famous Portuguizer. It is precisely to talk to you about the latter, the unmissable Portuguizer, that I find myself here today, comfortably settled in the IWC apartment, the new temple of haute horlogerie in the city of Paris, intended for watch enthusiasts. I also invite you to visit it as soon as you get the chance, because you'll discover a very beautiful place, extremely cozy, as its name suggests, the apartment, and you'll also see some truly stunning watches. So today I'm not here to talk to you. Not about the collections that have just been released and unveiled at Watches and Wonders 2024, but rather I'm offering you a historical retrospective of some of the models that have marked the history of this timeless timepiece. The history of the Portuguizer has its roots, in fact, in the 1920s and 1930s, in pocket watches. IWC, whose remarkable precision was notably highlighted by competitions held at the King's Observatory in London, with some calibers achieving absolutely outstanding results. It is, in fact, this reputation, precision, that would lead the Royal Navy to commission IWC to produce deck watches, better known as marine chronometers, to equip their ships. These marine chronometers allowed sailors to calculate longitude while at sea. However, the true story of the model begins in 1939 with the launch of the Portuguizer reference 325. At the end of the 1930s, IWC manufactured, at the request of two Portuguese watch dealers, a timepiece whose commissioners wanted it to offer precision equivalent to that of marine chronometers. To meet their request, IWC turned to large-sized wristwatches. We're talking about 42 millimeters at that time, which was an extremely large diameter for the 1930s. IWC fitted these large wristwatches with watch movements, pocket watch movements, specifically calibers 74 and 98. Thus, the Portuguizer line is born, a model with a design that, as time would show, is absolutely timeless and would go on to become a true watchmaking icon in the 21st century. Celebrated for its refined design, elegance, and precision mechanics, the Portuguizer would evolve over time into numerous variations, to the point of becoming one of the major pillars of the IWC catalogue. After this year of 1939, which marked the launch of the Portuguizer, I suggest we take a big leap through time and jump to the year 1995. That year indeed marks an important milestone in the model's history, as IWC released in 1995, I repeat, the Portuguizer split-seconds chronograph under reference 3712. A quick reminder of what a split-seconds chronograph is. A split-seconds chronograph is a watch equipped with two sweep hands, one for the chronograph and the other for the split-seconds function, allowing you to time events that start at the same moment but have different durations. Now, this Portuguizer 3712 is exceptional in two ways. First of all, because it's the first model in the collection to feature a chronograph function, and secondly, because this chronograph function is enhanced with a complication, a split-seconds function. With a diameter of 42 minutes, this model houses the caliber 76-240. It's also worth noting that in that same year, 1995, IWC released the Portuguizer minute repeater reference 5240, namely, a timepiece that chimes the hours. In 2000, the Schaffhausen manufacturer wrote a new chapter in its history by launching the Portuguizer Automatic 2000 under reference 68-40. With a diameter of 42 millimeters, this model houses the caliber 5000, which is notable for two major features. The first is that it is equipped with a peloton winding system, and the second is that it offers an impressive power reserve of 7 days, or 168 hours. Its dial is also distinguished by the presence of two subdials. Indeed, at 9 o'clock there is a small second subdial, and at 3 o'clock a power reserve indicator. In 2003, based on this same caliber 5000, IWC launched the Portuguizer, perpetual calendar, reference 5021. Just a quick reminder, a perpetual calendar, also known as a quantième perpetuel, or QP for short, is a timepiece that, in addition to displaying the hours and minutes and sometimes the seconds, also shows the day, the date, and the month of the year, either in the form of 4 digits or as an indication of leap years as opposed to regular years. It is also very often paired with a moon phase display and sometimes an indication of the moon's age. It also takes into account months with 30 and 31 days, as well as the length of the month of February, whether it is a leap year or not. Such is the case with this Portuguizer perpetual calendar 5021, which adds even more complications. A power reserve indicator, which in this case is 7 days, since the base is the caliber 5000. Specifically the model associated with this caliber 5000, a perpetual calendar module that was developed by Kurt Klaus, the famous and brilliant IWC watchmaker, to whom we owe. This perpetual calendar, which is fully adjusted via the crown, has no buttons, no pushers, no correctors embedded in the case middle, in order to preserve the model's pure aesthetic. Let us now move on, if you will, to the final model in this historical retrospective dedicated to the Portuguizer, with a few words about an absolute model. An incredible one, which is the Portuguizer Sidéral Scafusia reference 5041. This renowned model is the result of 10 years of work that brought together watchmakers, scientists, and engineers. And you'll see that the result is quite phenomenal. It is truly one of the most spectacular and most complex mechanical watches ever produced by IWC, proudly housing the 94-1900 caliber. On the dial side, we find the elegant style of the classic Portuguizer, but there's clearly a different design approach as well. At 9 o'clock, a large cutout in the dial reveals a constant force tourbillon, and in a semicircle located between 3:30 and 5:30, there's a power reserve indicator showing a reserve of 96 hours. A subdial at 12 o'clock displays sidereal time, or more precisely, the sidereal hour. Now, I won't go into detailed explanations here because it's extremely complex. I won't lie to you, and instead I encourage you to consult your search engine of choice for a summary of what sidereal time is, that is, the time of the stars, as opposed to solar time, which is our time, based on a 24-hour cycle, and which turns out to be extremely complex. And I might lose you in my explanations. Just know that solar time and sidereal time are not the same. The stars return to the same position in 23 hours and 56 minutes. And 4 seconds, to be precise. Despite this difference, the IWC engineers achieved a feat with a specially designed gear train that follows sidereal time, with such precision that it deviates by only 11.5 seconds. 11.5 seconds maximum over an entire year. On the back of this Portuguizer Sidéral Scafusia, there is an astronomical module that can be configured according to each client's personal preferences, to make it an absolutely unique piece. The rotating celestial disk, in fact, depicts in detail more than 500 stars. Stars and constellations visible from a location defined by its owner. This model, an imposing 46 millionits in diameter, is also distinguished by the presence on the back of the piece, in addition to this incredible celestial view, of a perpetual calendar with leap year display, all enhanced with an indication of the hours of sunrise and sunset, taking into account daylight saving time and standard time. As you've just seen, this Portuguizer Sidéral Scafusia transports us into the realm of haute horlogerie, and it showcases the expertise IWC has acquired in the field of grand complications, as well as the ability of this Portuguizer to adapt to multiple configurations while maintaining its elegance and absolutely timeless design. This selective retrospective has now come to an end. I invite you to go and watch the video we presented on the new Portuguizer models unveiled at Watches and Wonders 2024, which demonstrate a remarkable move upmarket, featuring in particular sumptuous and unprecedented dials that only further confirm the model's iconic status. Finally, don't hesitate to come and discover these new releases and the current IWC collections at the IWC apartment, located at 73 Avenue des Champs-Élysées. There you'll see some truly beautiful timepieces, a stunning location, and you'll be warmly welcomed. Thank you, and see you very soon.